Folks, the Switch 2 Direct just happened, and a lot of people are excited, a lot of people are frustrated. I'm a Nintendo fan myself, of course, so I've got my own thoughts. And I'm joined by an old friend of mine, a fellow Nintendo fan, and actually the brother of Munby, who you all know pretty well. Also a croc professional.
Well, I don't get paid for it, but I am a speedrunner.
A very qualified individual to invite on to discuss gaming with.
Yeah, I'm the Croc 2 max % world record holder. My name is Limbus, and yeah, that's about it. So we're talking about the Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that just happened on the 2nd of April, or the 3rd of April if you're in the Australian time zones. Quite an exciting sort of block of announcements and some stuff that I would not have imagined that I would want, but then you see it in front of you and it's like, oh, all right, cool.
Exactly,
you know?
Yeah. Why don't we talk about the good stuff first? Because there was a lot of cool stuff. First of all, there was the opening announcement was Mario Kart World.
And if you were to tell me that they would announce an open world Mario Kart game, and I would watch that and think this actually looks sick, and I want to play this immediately, I'd be shocked, because that's the most Nintendo hired this man stupid idea that I could imagine just about. Well, there is one idea that's more Nintendo hired this man stupid than that, which we'll get to later. But this one was like, I could not have imagined that they would make an open world Mario Kart game look appealing, but they did it. Just looks amazing. Like the fact that it's like they've stitched together the sort of classic courses with the laps and like the loop, and they've managed to sort of like tie that all together in a sort of coherent seeming world that's like that looks really fun to explore and discover. Like that's amazing. I just would not have imagined
they
they'd be able to do anything like that.
They showed it off well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, like I started watching the direct, I was like, oh yeah, Mario Kart launch title, that makes sense. And then I was so surprised with how it looks like a really unique approach, because Mario Kart's kind of a stale franchise. Like
it feels like they sort of applied the Breath of the Wild approach, right? Because it's like you have this sort of formula that's gotten pretty stagnant. We want to make a new version of this that's going to make people think this is new and exciting again. And even if it's a little bit of an illusion, like it's not going to really be that different to the classic Mario Kart experience. It feels like something new, and and they can sell that. They can sell that more than they could if it was just this is just Mario Kart 8 again, but it's got new tracks and characters. And that's really, I don't know, that feels exciting that the sort of Nintendo, I think more than any other like game company, feels a kind of responsibility to do something new with their properties. Like they didn't make a new Star Fox game that didn't have some. They haven't made a new Star Fox game that doesn't have some kind of control gimmick for about probably more than 20 years now, because they don't have an idea for it. And they hold themselves to that kind of standard where they don't just do the like Call of Duty kind of we make a new one every year and it's always the same. They always want to put a new spin on things, which is cool. It's like you don't see that much these days.
That's damn. Like they could get away with a pretty lazy Mario Kart, to be honest. They could get away with it. But they are. I was impressed. I was like, damn, you actually did something cool and new, huh? But I'm quite excited for it. And also, everyone's loving the fact that like there's a million characters. Like the cow from Moo Moo Meadows is a character, and like a crab NPC.
No. I'd have to object to something you've just said. That's the cow from Moo Moo Farm, which came first on the Nintendo 64. Moo Moo Meadows is from 10 years later. It's not the cow from Moo Moo Meadows, it's the cow from Moo Moo Farm. Sorry, go on.
That's why I invited this guy. He's got the facts straight.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a pedant about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's so fun.
What I love so much is all the sort of theming of the courses. This is something they've sort of gotten better and better at over the years, right? Like, it started with, in Mario Kart 64, you'd have, like, Luigi's tires and, like, Toad's oil and stuff like that on the, like, posters and, like, the sponsor logos.
Oh, yeah, the fake companies.
Like, as, like, theming. And they've taken that to, like, new extremes with, like, Yoshi food franchises all throughout this world. Like, he's like, got a chain of burger restaurants, and I saw a poster for Yoshi Pizza. Like he's a tycoon in this space. He's doing really well for himself.
This just
like, what's so good about it is that they've sort of taken that idea of like the background details being a fun thing to explore and experience to the extreme, and it's like that's what makes an open world worth exploring, right? Is that there's like fun things to see and find, and even if they don't contribute anything to the gameplay, it's like it's just worth having those details for the fun of discovering them. Which is great.
Yeah, I bet it'll be super fun just to free roam in the world. There'll be a lot of fun details, I imagine.
Yeah, like I would not have imagined myself being the kind of gamer, you know, you can probably gather from the fact that I speedrun that I kind of like a sort of challenge, and I like self-imposed challenges, and I like the sort of hard gameplay and focusing on that side of things. But the idea of just driving around with some friends in this Mario Kart world actually seems really fun, just to like sort of plug some time away, you know?
I've always enjoyed like open world driving, to be honest, more than other kinds of open world gameplay. It is kind of chill and fun.
Yeah.
Like I literally play American Truck Simulator sometimes just because I like driving.
Yeah, like you know what's really fun is in those recent Spider-Man games, just like swinging around New York for no reason, just to sort of like experience it and take it in is really fun. Like good open world exploration. The sort of joy of that is seeing things and experiencing like sights. Like it's really fun swinging around in the Spider-Man New York and you find like the Sanctum Sanctorum and like Nelson and Murdoch's law firm and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, that's a fun little detail. And then you see like real landmarks from New York that have been like turned into the Marvel version of them. And it's like, oh, that's funny. And it's like stuff like that where it's like you can tell that someone poured their heart into detailing this thing that doesn't do anything for the gameplay. It doesn't need to be there, but it's just sort of for the fun of it. And that's the kind of thing that really makes a game feel like it has soul, you know?
I would agree. And it's like having Mario Kart controls in an open world sounds awesome too. Drifting, and I think you can jump actually.
Yeah, the controls are interesting actually. That is something that I'm sort of concerned about, right? The grinding, I don't know if I like the idea of rail grinding. Like, I'm sure once I actually try it, it'll be like fun and enjoyable.
I reckon it looks cool.
It looks a bit awkward.
I was gonna say a lot of like in race mechanics are new and cool too.
Just having like different ways to approach parts of the track, I think, is good. But like, I'm a Crash Team Racing player, right? Like that's my kart racer. The Crash Team Racing remake is like probably one of the games that I've pumped the most time into overall, just because the driving in that game is so much fun. It's like it's like a frantic just dash the whole time. You try to sort of build boost up and keep it and go as fast as possible. And if you even skim a wall, you lose all your boost immediately. And it's like that kind of high pressure action. It's like Mario Kart. The gameplay itself can't really compare. Like, it's fun, but it's not that fun to me. So having something else to hold on to, like the open world, the fun of experiencing all those details, really gives this game something that I did not imagine it would have, you know?
Yeah, I had a friend who did speed running of Crash Racing.
Yeah,
and that game looks really mechanically tight compared to Mario Kart, which is a bit more of a casual kart racer. It's more approachable. Mario Kart is really easy to understand controls, intuitive controls, and the tracks are more like a theme park. Like they're cool visually, but then it loses its luster once you've played them all. So I think they're trying to give the game more replay value with maybe a little bit more mechanical depth, like a little bit, and the free roam stuff, and the new survival mode where you
it's like Fortnite kind of, the like elimination over time.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that looks like a fun mode. Like, but I would not have imagined that I'd be excited for a new Mario Kart game, because I just I wouldn't say I've outgrown it, but I just it just didn't sort of scratch the itch for me quite enough.
Yeah, Sam, I haven't been into Mario Kart for years. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's like the fact that this one's got something more to offer, like especially comparing it to what the rounds of DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that they did a couple of years ago, where it was like they clearly just sort of pulled tracks out of Mario Kart Tour and maybe gussied them up a little bit, but they still look kind of bad compared to the stock Mario Kart 8 tracks. Like, you know, the level of detail and polish, especially the character models, which we should talk about. Like, it just all looks really great. Like, it's all really tight within the art style. It's all so appealing. Like, I love the character designs. Like, the fact that they're all slightly different. I love that Nintendo are doing that again. You know, from about Super Mario Sunshine until like 2 years ago, there was only one look for Mario. There was only one Mario, apart from like the spin-offs that were radically different, like Mario and Luigi or Paper Mario.
You're damn right. Like Mario Wonder, he looks a bit different. Mario RPG Remake.
Yeah, and now in this Mario Kart, he looks more like the official art from the instruction manuals that they used to have with Mario Kart games, where he's a 2D drawing. And that's so cool. It's like, you know, it's just feels less homogenous. It's more surprising. I'm still getting used to the new Mario voice. It's a little bit weird, but you know, the guy's doing a pretty good job, I think. You know,
I didn't even notice that, to be honest. This guy was telling me about that in the chat earlier, and I was like, "There's a new voice actor for Mario." I didn't realize.
It's so funny because I'm a Rivals of Ether 2 player and I main Forceburn, and the guy that voices Forceburn is the voice of Mario and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi now. So it's a little bit, I don't know, it's just like jarring.
That is crazy.
And his name's Kevin Afghani. I don't know if he's on Twitter or something. Go follow him. Yeah, why not?
Shout out to Kevin Afghani.
Yeah, that's right. He's doing a good job. But anyway, what's wonderful is that the characters all sort of look new again, especially Donkey Kong. This is going to be a big discussion point. I love the new Donkey Kong design. It's fantastic. Like, he's so expressive. Like, I feel like and I like the rare Donkey Kong. Like, that has its own kind of
it's
appeal.
Classic. It's been Donkey Kong has looked like that for years. But yeah, I love I love the new look for sure. It's awesome. He looks like the arcade Donkey Kong artwork, like the...
Yeah, he does. He looks like the movie Donkey Kong, the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, that's true. But what was good about Seth Rogen Donkey Kong was that they were capturing the sort of the original, the like monkeyness of him, because the like rare Donkey Kong is so like sort of it's so 1990s renders, right? Like, he's like stiff and kind of looks like he's carved out of plastic in those old games, and I don't think that the design ever fully outgrew that. He sort of looked like a plastic action figure in Mario Kart 8. Did you ever get that sort of feeling?
Oh, kinda. I guess all the uniform Mario designs started to feel like that just because you've seen them a million times.
Yeah, no, not just that. I do think there was something inherent to that Donkey Kong design that just lends itself to being more sort of like static. And what's so great about this new one is that they've built his face to be really expressive, and like that's what Donkey Kong should be, right? He's like a big cartoony gorilla, and it's like the satisfaction of being a big ape smashing into things.
Yeah, he's got a big smile on his face.
And I love all the character animation on, like, you know, Waluigi is one where it's like you just love to see him like bounce around and do weird poses, you know. All the characters look so full of life in a way that they haven't really for a long time, and it's just really, it's like it just makes everything so much more appealing when you have that level of sort of love for the characters in the animation and the sort of rigging and everything.
Agreed. What do you think about the fact that it seems to be a burger that you can eat in the game that turns you American?
Yeah,
What's going on with that? What does that do? Like, what does it do?
Yeah, no. So I've actually been watching a few different gameplay videos. It seems like there's different foods based on different regions. Like the sort of the Yoshi's Truck Stop burger shop is like when you're on that track, and you get the like food box item, then you open it up and it's a burger. There's actually 3 levels of burger. Let me find you the pictures. You can put these on screen in your podcast. There's a small burger, which is like one patty. That's this one. Then there's then there's the medium-sized burger. We're getting somewhere. And I screenshotted these from the item roulette because I thought this is so funny. Like, it's like the Mario Kart roulette, but it's only these 3 burgers just going over and over and over. So you got one burger, the double burger, and the triple burger with a little checkered flag on it. And it seems like, based on what track you're playing, you get an item and it turns you into a costume that's sort of themed to that track. One of the other food items that appeared that I saw was a box of takoyaki. And I'm thinking that when you eat the takoyaki, you're probably going to turn into the Japanese themed outfits, like. And so you have the burger for looking like a sort of like a grease monkey in like overalls and baseball caps and stuff like that, which is so much fun. Like the idea of like going traveling and you dress up like the locations you're in. Like,
that is
just so clever. Cool. Yeah. And like when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that sucks. I want to like select a skin and stay in it. But this is really a lot more fun. It's like you sort of transform to fit the place you're driving, which is a really cool twist on the sort of skin selection mechanic. Not even having skin selection, the skins are selected for you, like by the environment.
I like it. It doesn't seem like it has a gameplay effect.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's like in the road trip segments where you drive from one track to the next. Instead of item boxes, they kind of look like Happy Meal boxes, little yellow ones, and they're like food takeaway boxes, and they have these food items in them. And also, the like ridiculous selection of characters. That's something we should probably touch on, right? That's so sick, right? The fact that you can play as like the money bag from Snowman's Land, and like
I saw there was a snowman character. I thought he looked like Mishwe.
No, there's the snowman from Frappe Snowland, but then there's also the like money bag guy that he like looks like a coin from far away, but when you get close to him, he transforms into the money bag.
Oh, is that where he debuted? Because I think he's in like New Super Mario Brothers and stuff.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like a lot of enemies just like come back over and over in the series. But yeah, it's just like so funny to have, and like the fishbone guy and the bat character that has a really cool silhouette, like all that stuff. Having them like on the same level as Luigi is hilarious. The fact that they're all playable, like that's such a cool idea to have that, and not like. Because I thought it was kind of annoying that they started putting in crossover characters in Mario Kart, because it's Mario Kart. It's not It's not. It's
oh yeah, that link and the inkling and everything. Yeah.
I prefer they don't do that. I want it to be Mario characters because it's the Mario world.
I didn't have anything against that, but now that you mentioned it, I think it is cool to just have every Mario guy in the game instead.
Yeah, like I don't hate it or anything, but I like that they've sort of stuck to a direction. You know, they're like, that it's because it's Mario Kart World. It has to be characters that fit in the Mario Kart world.
Well, hopefully it lives up to the hype it's established.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So one other thing that that was clear from some of the gameplay videos they released is that you can't customize your kart anymore. It's just one build. Like you have like one bike themed after a character, one kart, stuff like that, and the wheels and the plane wings and everything. They're all just part of the kart. So you can't like switch pieces around anymore.
I did see that, yeah, which I think is fine. I don't really mind that. So that's all good.
I prefer it. I think I never really loved that aspect of Mario Kart. It was just sort of unnecessary complication, and the karts that you can make can end up looking pretty ugly, and often the gameplay, like the ones that were optimal for gameplay, were hideous.
That's true. There's a bit of like design overlap that shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
this is more uniform. Everything's
and what's really
themed.
fun is that you can have the Waluigi bike, and it's clearly just the Luigi bike, but he's painted it purple and wrote "Wah" on the tires in front of Luigi.
No, that's like, characterization.
Yeah, and that's a level of characterization that you can't have if like every set of wheels has to be interchangeable, right?
That's called environmental storytelling.
That's so true.
Well, you want to talk about DK then? I feel like DK was announced near the end, but I feel like it's the logical next.
I thought we might get to DK last, but sure. Like, let's get on to part 2 of a game idea that I would have thought was the stupidest idea imaginable. Like, it has every piece of like Nintendo hire this man, bad idea game design. It's like a 3D platformer that's also an open world game. I've never seen one of those that's like worked and been fun. The destructible environments thing, especially, that's something people always suggest in their like. They don't understand how games are made, but they have all these ideas for a game. That's something people always write because but it actually looks fun. And what's crazy about it is like, doesn't it just make sense to play as a big monkey and be smashing things and be like angry and grabbing pieces of whatever to throw at whatever else and digging holes and shit like that. And it's like, I would not have imagined this would work. This is like a bad idea someone mocked up in dreams, but it works and it looks amazing. It's crazy.
I'm in disbelief that this is a game. I've actually been happy about it for a couple of days, like a child, because I grew up with DK64, and people have their issues with that game, but I loved it as a kid, and it is like an insane game with too many collectibles. But I've always wanted them to make another 3D DK, and they haven't for years. Yeah, and the DK Returns games were great, but I've always thought they got to lean more into DK. He's like one of their most iconic characters. He's famous.
Yeah.
Like, you got to make a big DK game, and they're actually doing it. They're doing it.
Yeah. And like that's another thing that I would not have imagined. Like, because there's like a part of me that agrees with you that played DK64 as a kid and is like, yes, we need more 3D Donkey Kong. But then you think about it, and it's like, I don't know if that actually would be good. You know, they already make 3D platforms with Mario, and Nintendo kind of feel like they need different kinds of games to have a point of difference from each other. They probably just wouldn't do that. But they are doing it, and they found a way to make it different. And it looks really fun. Yeah,
and it's like DK's his movement looks amazing. He's rolling around, climbing up walls, breaking stuff. And I bet the whole game is built around the breaking mechanic in a way that's like cool.
Yeah, and like the reason that works is because you can't do that with Mario. Like, what's fun about Mario is not his capacity for smashing things. He's like a funny little plumber man that jumps around. But Donkey Kong's a big ape, and you want to just smash into things and go crazy, and that's what's going to be fun about this game. And I like how it has a sort of an edgy world design as well. Did you pick up on that? Like, there's like slave monkeys that work as miners that look a bit like Diddy Kong, and there's like a screwed up looking ape. Like, that reminded me of something that I always thought was really interesting was that in all the Donkey Kong games, like, there's almost never monkey enemies, but there's one monkey enemy called Manky Kong in Donkey Kong Country 1. And I always thought that was really weird because it's like the monkeys all appear to be on like one team. They're the heroes, and then there's this one monkey that's an enemy who's evil. And it's so interesting to expand on that sort of idea, the like world design of having different kinds of monkeys that aren't just the members of the Kong family, which is, you know. And I guess they did that with that Donkey Kong Wii game. What was it called again? The one that was like the bongos, but you used the Wii Remote and nunchuck. It was kind of a platformer. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
Oh,
yeah,
Jungle
Kong Jungle Beat. Yeah, they had like Sumo Kong and Kung Fu Kong and stuff like that, and they were sort of like boss. They were boss characters, but they didn't have sort of like they They didn't have like world design where it's like you see the like monkey civilians just on their way to work and stuff like that. Like that's so like cool.
You got monkey civilians.
You know? Yeah, and that's like appealing for the same reason so much of the Mario Kart stuff's appealing.
I can see why they sort of front loaded us with good news with these amazing looking games, and then they announced like, okay, we're gonna up the prices, but now you want this Donkey Kong game, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we sort of need to see what the prices are going to be like around the world, because there's been a bit of speculation that price increase is because of the Trump tariffs that have just dropped. Yeah. So if it's just for America, then that's not going to affect us, and I don't really care that much. But if they use that as an excuse to crank the price up to like $120 Australian, then I might just consider.
That's literally how much Mario Kart World is up for on EB Games right now. Is 120 Aussie dollars, which is crazy. I think that's what it was. Let me double check. Because they are charging more for physical as well. They're charging like a bit more.
Take it all back. Don't buy this shit. It looks terrible. It's just a rehash of Mario Kart. It sucks. Don't buy it.
Yeah, Mario Kart World, 119.95 on EB Games.
0 out of 10. Not interested.
But okay, so at least there is like a bundle that comes with Mario Kart World on the console, and that's like a bit more expensive than just the console.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I assumed that it would be like the pack in, like. Because that was a big system seller for the Switch, was that you buy it and it's the Mario Kart device, because everyone wants Mario Kart. So it makes sense that they would make Mario Kart as the big launch title this time. Like,
but they do have it separately too, so I assume this would be the standard price for like their big AAA first party games.
Yeah, that's really disappointing. Oh, $120.
But the thing is, like, the Donkey Kong game looks like genuinely the best game I've ever seen in my life. So what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah, and they probably will have games that are less than that. Like, the new Rhythm Heaven will probably be like 70 or 80, like,
hopefully,
stuff like that.
Kirby Air Ride, will that be?
Yeah.
Maybe they can get away with just charging,
once we're done with Donkey Kong.
Absurd prices.
Yeah, and they are going to charge as much as they can get away with, but it's just so disappointing. Like, there's no reason for them to crank it up like this. Like, what? Come on.
I feel like I've been manipulated.
Yeah.
Like, they showed us these epic games.
Yeah. I feel like I just spent an hour doing free advertising for this product that they're using to gouge people. But I am excited for the game, and I can't deny that. So, I guess they got what I want, and I'm a sucker, and I'm going to buy it anyway. Well,
it's unfortunate.
We should talk about the Donkey Kong design. Because it's been, well, I already touched on it with Mario Kart, because that's where the redesign first appeared, but it's like, I'm sure that they put Donkey Kong Bananza at the end of this direct thinking like, this might be hit and miss. There's probably going to be some people that don't like the new Donkey Kong design. It was controversial when you could just see him in the background of the first Mario Kart video they showed when they first revealed the Switch 2. But I feel like this is going to win everyone over. Like, the fact that he's so expressive, his face is moving, he's like, he's in different outfits too. Like, he looks all like gross and mangy sometimes, and it's just.
No, I even love like his running animation. I think it just looks great all around. You did bring up that silly. It looks a lot like the Mario movie one, which is probably why they did it, because they have like a precedent.
I'd say it's a bit of the sort of I reckon someone at Nintendo probably watched the Mario movie and thought like, why doesn't our Donkey Kong look like that? This is so much more appealing, and it probably did. But the reason that he looked like that in the movie is because they were trying to capture what like the original Donkey Kong design, and it's all a sort of cycle that feeds back into itself.
I didn't love that movie, but visually. It was pretty nice. I can't really deny the visuals of it, and the Donkey Kong design was good.
I thought there was a lot to like about it, but it was it was all right. Like, it had sort of the problems that a lot of modern animation for kids has, where it's like, they think kids are really stupid and they need to spell everything out extra, and the needle drops were terrible. But this is not a podcast about the Mario movie. I guess you could do that as a separate episode if you want.
That's just an aside about the DK design.
Yeah. But the DK design worked in the Mario movie. It was appealing. It was good. Like, and they shouldn't be afraid of doing that with the games just because the movie did it first. And I'm glad they're doing it, because it just looks great.
Yeah, I like his overalls too. He's wearing overalls, isn't he?
Yeah. There's some parts, like, you could see him in like the classic tie in like one part of it, and then later on he's in like minor clothes. He's got like suspenders and pants on, and there's probably going to be different outfits for different like regions, like Mario Kart World. They're all doing the Breath of the Wild treatment to every new game, and you know what? Good. I like Breath of the Wild. It's fun. There are some people who think they didn't do the dungeons or whatever, but that was a series that needed a breath, if you will, of new life, and I think Donkey Kong could use one too, and they've given it to him. Beautiful.
I'm very excited for Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
and I probably will end up buying no matter how expensive it is, I'll probably get it. Unfortunately, they've twisted my arm here.
Yeah, well, I'm an adult with an income now. I can afford to make some frivolous expenses like that. Why not? So you mentioned the new Kirby Air Ride game.
Yeah, and I never played the first Kirby Air Ride, but out of curiosity, I looked up some gameplay, and it looks sick.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I never played it much. I think I played it a few times, but it has such a reputation as being like this legendary game that everyone loves. It was like the last game Sakurai made with Nintendo before he departed to come back and make a new Smash Brothers game every 3 years, and Kid Icarus Uprising. So he never really left, but that was technically, and that was his last Kirby game. And I feel like this trailer could have just been the words, "We're making a new Kirby Air Ride and it's directed by Sakurai," and they would have accomplished just as much, because the way they were like, "This will be directed by Masahiro Sakurai," and like that's the exciting. That's what was so funny, because it's like there's no other celebrity developer like Sakurai is there.
Yeah, there's like almost nothing to talk about with that, but it's just cool. They didn't show any gameplay.
Yeah, but it's a bit like when they showed the Metroid Prime 4 logo like 8 years ago and just didn't make the game until 2 years ago.
But going off like the Kirby Air Ride 1 gameplay I saw, it's a pretty novel racing game. There's like combat in it, and like the Kirby powers.
Yeah. It's like I probably need to revisit it. I think I never played it because I couldn't get it to work in Dolphin, but yeah, like it looks interesting, and it's got those modes that everyone always talks about. Like this game should have a what's it called, City Trial, I think is the one everyone talks about. Like this game should have a mode like City Trial and stuff like that. I think like Sakurai is at his best when he has a sort of concept to play around with like that. And I'm sure that this new Kirby Air Ride game will do a lot of interesting stuff in a similar kind of vein.
It's interesting that they announced like 2 big racing games though.
Yeah,
kind of overlap.
Well, they're very different kinds of racing games. I think Mario Kart is kind of an institution of its own, right? Like, when you think about when Mario Kart started, they had the joke goofy Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, and they had the serious racer, which was F-Zero. So they've always kind of had both.
That's true.
But they don't have F-Zero anymore. They're never going to make another F-Zero game. Sorry. Although you can play F-Zero GX on the Switch too, thanks to the GameCube offering.
Yeah, that's true. On Nintendo Switch Online, they got the free GameCube games, which some people are upset about.
Free.
They reckon, free with,
with the subscription service that you need to play games online, which should be free anyway. But whatever.
Yeah, some people think they're doing that as an excuse to crack down on Melee and like Melee emulation and Slippy and stuff.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because if they release Melee on GameCube, then they're like,
it'll be worse than Slippy in every way, but it might give them legal grounds to shut down tournaments, which they seem to love doing.
I hope that doesn't happen, because that would suck.
Yeah, me too.
Slippy doesn't exist anymore.
The netcode will be bad, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Like it is for those Switch Online emulators where it's all delay based. Like, but still, though, I guess it's kind of cool to have the ability to. Oh, and that was another thing that they announced. They announced the Nintendo Switch 2 will have a novel feature known as a webcam and a microphone. And you'll be able to do Discord calls on Nintendo Switch.
I don't know if anyone cares about that.
Yeah, like, not at all.
The camera thing is like, it's unbelievable. Then you're gonna buy a camera to play like Mario Party, and you can be in the game and punch a block in front of you.
Oh god, that looks so stupid with all the people. I'm not playing Mario Kart to see myself on the screen. I want to see Wario. I don't want to see me.
The little webcams in the circles was hilarious though. There could be some comedic value there.
Oh yeah, in like the crowd shot with all the Mario characters, and then there's just the 4 people up the front. That's so funny. Yeah,
I feel like that was a miss. That was bizarre.
I sort of zoned out during the webcam introduction because they were showing Dino Dino Jungle in Mario Kart, and they hadn't showed that yet, so I was just watching for all the Dino Dino Jungle details.
That's a true Nintendo head right there. Something insane they announced was mouse controls for Metroid Prime. So you can you get the Joy-Con and like put it on the ground and use it as a mouse. Yeah. That sounds weird. Isn't it too thin for that? Like,
yeah, it's probably going to be really uncomfortable. But you know what else is uncomfortable? Trying to play a first-person shooter with an analog stick. I hate that.
Yeah, but what about
I'm so glad that the option exists.
What about the motion controls of the Joy-Con itself? I feel like that would be better.
Yeah, I never tried that with I tried Metroid Prime Trilogy and I didn't care for the way that it did it. I guess Splatoon was okay, but I still just prefer a mouse. Like a mouse is the best way to play a shooter. It always
maybe
has
it'll
been
be
and
more
always will
comfortable
be.
than I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get my Joy-Con now and I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it face up on the desk. I'm gonna see how it goes. It doesn't have the smooth surface. Let's see.
It's like better than nothing, but it's just a strange idea. I didn't imagine that.
Okay. This isn't that bad actually. This is actually surprisingly like if you told me the Joy-Con was like designed with this in mind, I would say, yeah, because you can sort of rest your thumb on the analog stick like you would if you're holding it normally, and put like your two fingers on the shoulder buttons as like mouse buttons, and it kind of.
I'm just imagining if I'm sitting on a couch, how am I doing this?
Yeah,
is it on the couch?
Yeah,
seat?
That's true.
I guess would that work?
Yeah, you'd need like Tants from Regular Show to have like a table on your pants to use for a mouse pad. Do you remember Tants?
I didn't see that episode.
Oh well, there's an episode where they have pants with a table in the waistband.
Very plot pivotal episode where they had Tants.
And they're called Tants. Get a clip from the episode Tants to show in the podcast.
Definitely.
So I don't sound so insane.
I'll definitely do that.
That's the best way to play the Switch with mouse controls, is to get yourself a pair of Tants.
Now we're smart. Now we're talking genius. Yeah. And speaking of which, there's a new game centered around this new mouse technology that is wheelchair basketball game.
Oh my god!
What was up with that? That was the strangest thing of the whole. It's called Dragon Drive.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, I want to talk about Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and then talk about the basketball game, because don't you think it's hilarious that Nintendo feels the need to make a tech demo for using a mouse? Like, we haven't all been doing that for like probably 40 years at this point. Like, the mouse has been the main thing that everyone uses for their work, like on computers all day. Like, Nintendo was like, I don't think these people are going to understand how a mouse works. We need to make a whole game, a whole retail game. By the way, it's not bundled in with the console, to teach people how a mouse works.
Who's buying
don't really
that?
think they
I don't
needed
think
to do
anyone's
that.
going to buy that. As if that doesn't. Maybe that should just be one that comes with the thing for free, if anything.
It absolutely should, and that's what everyone's saying, that it should just come with the system. But they've decided to want to switch it and have a game that's going to be on shelves and no one's going to buy it ever.
It shows their business attitude. Like, that's quite a greedy choice right there. That's a bit bizarre.
But, yeah. Like, it's almost not even greedy. It's just dumb, because they're not going to get anything out of it. There's just not going to be. I
just imagine some suit like, we can't give this for free. This is good stuff.
Yeah, they're so confident in their little mini golf simulator that you could make in a browser in probably a day. Oh man. But then where it really gets interesting, and what's much more novel than one mouse, is two mice. So this brings us back to the wheelchair basketball game, which is interesting. I feel like this is going to be a Wii U sort of thing, where they're asking just a little bit too much of people to get them to do this with their games, you know? I can't imagine this one being popular.
It does look kind of fun, but isn't it going to be like $100? That could better be cheaper. It better be at least...
If they sell that thing for $100, it is going to sell negative copies. Like, it would have to be like $40 at the most, right? Like, there's no way they can sell it for more than that.
I'm just wondering how much replay value is there in that game? Like, it's basketball, but what else is going on? Is there a campaign mode? Is there arcade mode?
Game. It's a multiplayer game that's going to depend on there being an online player base to like lobby with, and I just can't see that happening. I don't think this is going to happen for them, unfortunately.
It was inspired by like Rocket League. They're like, we need a Rocket League.
Yeah. No, I think what's happened is that they had this kind of concept like controller idea once with Splatoon, and it worked really well because of pretty much everything about Splatoon except the controls. The fact that it's like a fun world that looks cool and the characters are fun and the gameplay's fun. And they did that once and they thought, okay, we can just do this over and over and have like these games that are basically tech demos that we sell for full retail price, and everyone's just going to jump on and play them. I don't think everyone's going to jump on and play the wheelchair basketball game. It's probably going to be like ARMS, and I love ARMS, but ARMS
it's exactly like ARMS.
Yeah. I actually like ARMS a lot, and I wish they'd make another ARMS game, but the wheelchair basketball game doesn't look like it has as much character and sort of appeal as ARMS, unfortunately.
It's interesting they're still trying this, though. Games designed around like the novel control method.
Yeah, I think Wii Sports drove them crazy a little bit, didn't it? Because it was like...
Switch Sports is good, but...
Yeah, but it's never going to be Wii Sports again, you know? That game made more money than God. They were playing Wii Sports on every TV show. Like, that's never happening again.
Yeah. I guess they're gambling and failing.
It's like they haven't hit the big roulette. And I guess the Wii came out 19 years ago, which feels a bit crazy to say, but that's how time works.
You excited for Metroid Prime 4?
I would say excited is the wrong word, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Yeah, like I like Metroid Prime. And I like Metroid Prime 2. I never played all of Metroid Prime 3 because I just played the first two, and it was like, this is kind of just more of the same. I just sort of burned out on them. But I like Metroid Prime. I like regular Metroid more. I like the side-scroll Metroids more. But I will play the new Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I'm more of a 2D Well, I haven't really given the 3D Metroids a chance, but I really like Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, I loved Dread as well. I really hope there's a sequel to Dread in the works, because that game was so sick. It was a great return to form.
Looked cool from the gameplay though, Metroid Prime 4. So I may have to.
Yeah. The sort of the mixture of like just like environmental exploration, the ambience, the atmosphere. It all looks really sort of on point for Metroid Prime. Like that was sort of a big part of the appeal of the first two games, at least. I haven't played the third one enough to be able to say, but I imagine it was the same. Like, so much of the game is just walking around scanning things and reading like lore dumps, and I really like that stuff. It's like it's just a cool way to do storytelling.
The game lineup is good so far, and there's also the FromSoft game, Duskblood. Isn't that my brother was saying it was an exclusive Switch, which I actually didn't expect. I thought it was just a third-party game that was going to be on the thing. I didn't realize it was an exclusive.
I don't think I've ever played a FromSoft game, which is a bit embarrassing to say because there's such a cultural sort of like phenomenon, those games. But I've never played one. I sort of don't. I've just never gotten into them. It's just like not something I've done. I might try this one. But from what I'm hearing, it's a player versus enemy game. It's like it's going to be multiplayer, which cool. sounds really weird. Like, I could see that being interesting though. You know.
I also am a fake gamer. I've not even played Dark Souls before.
Yeah, me neither.
But those games, funnily enough, sound exactly like my thing. Like they sound awesome.
Sound off in the YouTube comments if you want to see the Jimothy Cool plays through Dark Souls series.
A few people have already asked me to do that because I mentioned this before that I've never played them, but they look awesome, and I'm sure that I would like them. But for whatever reason, I've just never gotten around to it. Even back in the Dark Souls initial buzz back in like 2012.
I have no excuse really. Like, I never played Bloodborne because I haven't owned a PlayStation since the PS2, but the other ones are all just on PC. There's really no reason for me not to play them. Yeah, and that's funny that it's a Nintendo exclusive. Like, and it seems to just basically be Bloodborne 2, which was a PlayStation exclusive. Like, not sure what happened there, but
it's cool. It's a good get.
Yeah, it's a big win for Nintendo. You know, I realize we're talking about companies here. You know. They're not our friends, but it's, you've got to
I'm talking about the business plan.
The graft.
I'm just this might win over some non-Nintendo people. Like, some people will literally get this just to play the new FromSoft game. Like, there's a real cult around FromSoft.
That's true. Yeah. I haven't really thought about it like that. Like, I think Mario Kart, right? Like, the last Mario Kart sold almost 70 million copies. Like, that was a big mover for Switches. I know for Animal Crossing, that was a big Switch mover as well. When the pandemic happened, everyone bought a Switch to play Animal Crossing. It probably is going to be one of the things that gets people to buy a Switch 2, isn't it? The Duskbloods. There was another thing they announced, which was that, and this kind of gets back to the pricing thing and the way it's a little bit sort of predatory. There will be enhanced versions of Switch 1 games, but you can't just put in your Switch 1 game in your Switch 2 and play the enhanced version. You have to purchase like an upgrade pack to play the better Switch 2 version.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I actually don't fully understand that. Does that mean that it's backwards compatible, but you have to pay for extra content, or you also have to pay for higher performance, like frame rate and stuff? Is that what they're saying?
You would think that how it would work is that you put in, I don't know, Croc Remastered. You put your Croc Remastered cartridge that doesn't exist in the Switch 2, and you turn on Croc Remastered, and the frame rate's better, and the resolution's better, and the models are higher poly because the system's more powerful. But you have to purchase the upgrade pack, or it's not going to do it. It's going to run it in simulated Switch 1 bad graphics mode, so that you have to buy the upgrade. Is that how it's going to work, or does it have because the Wii had GameCube mode, and they had to have separate hardware in the Wii for it to be able to run GameCube games. So that wasn't actually faking bad performance. Is that how it is? They have
that
to
would
put
be
Switch
nuts
components in
if
the
they
Switch
went
too?
to the effort of making it run worse so that you have to buy the upgraded version. That would be insane.
I kind of think that's what they've done, though. That's the thing, is that, like, I don't know that much about console hardware, I will confess, but from what I understand, they're all kind of the same these days. They're all basically just PCs with PC components and, like, different operating systems. So I imagine you would have to impose, like, a bad performance mode in order to be able to run Switch 1 games like Switch 1 games. And if it takes, like, extra effort to sort of upgrade them into full sort of full new performance mode, then maybe I can understand charging like $5 for it, maybe. But it seemed like it was more than that, wasn't it? It was like 20 US was in the trailer, was it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that just seems a bit price gougey to me. Like, and I can't imagine wanting to come back to a game that I already played on Switch that badly. Like,
no,
if you're buying
I would
the game for the
absolutely
first
not
time,
pay that. I would just tank the lower performance on Mario Party. That's fine.
It's like when you use the free version of a phone game and you just chug through the ads. Like, I'm so smart for not paying for this. Like, yeah. But it's I don't know. There's just so many little things they're doing that make me feel like, you know, this is not the Nintendo that used to just sell a full game that you could get like a lifetime of enjoyment out of, and that was it. There were no caveats. That's just not how they operate anymore.
You want to talk about the game key thing? Because that's on this topic. The game key thing is crazy.
Key?
So for certain games, they won't sell a physical copy. They'll only sell a game key in the case.
Oh my god, yeah.
So at least, okay, something that people are getting wrong about this is that this is not for every game. So like, I imagine for like Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, the big games, they're still physical cards. But like for other games, probably smaller third-party games and whatever, they're just going to have a game key in the case.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we've been moving towards for a long time, I think, where it's like there are some games that are like premium releases that get cartridges or discs or whatever, and then games that are less important, just downloadable from the eShop. And like, they really have been doing that for a long time. Like, there were certain games on the Wii that you could only buy on the shop channel, like but there was stuff like Defend Your Castle and like games that were simpler, and like Mega Man 10 and 11, games like that that were sort of semi indie. Like, obviously the Mega Man games aren't indie games, but they were kind of like a less high budget experience. But that's sort of the direction we've been moving in for a long time, is that they're going to sort of eliminate physical ownership, which kind of sucks, but it's, I don't know, it just makes more sense to have games be downloadable. They don't have to go through the middleman of the retailer, you know. That's easier for them. But yeah, the part that seems kind of insane is that you would buy the game case with a little code in it. Like, surely no one's going to do.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I guess this is just for the people who want to have a big shelf full of games.
This is only Nintendo doing this also. The other companies aren't doing this yet, but I'm worried, is this going to establish a precedent for the whole industry to start doing this?
Maybe. Well, it's sort of already happening with downloadable games, but it's just a kind of insane compromise on games being download only, is that you can buy a fake box that doesn't have the game in it that also lets you download the game. Like, why? That is literally, that's the same thing as a Funko Pop. It's just shelf filler.
It sucks because, I don't know, like some smaller games have had cool, you know, physical releases, like deluxe editions or whatever. Like a Balatro had one that came with this, you know, the Switch cartridge and like a deck of cards and these collectibles.
Did that one come? Did that one come with a Switch cartridge? Right.
Yeah. Like, because
I bought the limited. Oh no, it wasn't limited run, but it was the same kind of thing. The Croc Remastered bundle with the Switch that just came out. I guess that's being shipped to me now since the game just came out a few days ago. But what I've heard is that has a Switch case, but it doesn't actually have a cartridge in it. So it's like the game key, where it just gives you a download code. Yeah, I mean, I'd be disappointed if that's true. I think it might be.
They don't have a Switch 1? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, this is just a sort of collector's edition kind of thing. Like, it's not an official. I don't think it's
maybe
an official.
I'm wrong about the Balatro one. And maybe that didn't come with the thing either.
Yeah.
I would have just assumed.
I mean, yeah, me too. But then I heard that it's just a download code in the like Croc box, which I'm kind of disappointed that I bought that version now, because I bought it thinking it's like, all right, if I'm buying the like physical collector's edition, then I want to have an actual game copy in real life, because I've bought Croc Remastered digitally. I also beta tested the game. So they gave me a copy to test with, but I bought one separately because I want to support the game and I want them to make Croc too. The Jimothy Cool audience, go go to GOG.com and buy the Croc Legend of the Gobbos remaster, so that I get the Croc 2 remaster.
You can't use my platform like this. Speedrun it. What are you doing?
Then delete this. Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
That's my product placement of the day. But they didn't pay me. I just like the Croc games, and I want them to do well with this remaster because they put a lot of effort into it. What was I saying about the collectible edition?
Yeah, you're complaining about how Croc isn't coming with a damn cartridge in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, who likes the game case? Like, they only started having game cases like, you know, for years, and you probably remember this. Games came in a cardboard box. The cardboard box would just fall apart. You throw it away. The cartridge was the part that mattered. You'd have like a pile of Game Boy Advance cartridges that all came in cardboard boxes, and you'd have like maybe the instruction manual somewhere else, but those also fell apart because the game box was just nothing. It didn't matter. And then they started having like DVD cases for everything, and then they brought that in with the DS had cases. And I've still got like a pile of DS and 3DS game cases somewhere. And they're just taking up space. I don't care about those things. I only care about the games.
Some people like collecting them.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. That's kind of what the game keys are. Is they're collectibles. They're Funko Pops.
It just is strange to sell a case with the thing in it.
It's a bold new business model. It feels like a sort of desperate compromise by the retail game industry to sort of stay in the loop when they're clearly being cut out of it. But you know, we'll see how it goes for them.
And I do wonder if they're just testing the waters with this to see if people still buy the damn things, and then maybe they'll phase out physical games completely.
Yeah. If there's no price difference, I could see people doing it. No, even then, I feel like it's just clutter, right? Like, if what you're getting is not an actual unperishable copy of the game that you can like put into a different Nintendo Switch and it works, you don't have to do like a transfer from your account or something. I feel like people are just not going to want to bother with having the extra thing in their house. Because, like, who cares?
It almost reminds me, you remember when, like, the Xbox One came out and they announced that, like, games would be account locked and you couldn't share them? And everyone was furious. It's like they're trying to do this in a different way, kind of, by phasing out the actual physical games themselves.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that was the sort of, that was the canary in the coal mine, wasn't it? That was the first thing where it's like, this is kind of the way things are going. And now Nintendo announces this and everyone's just like, yeah, of course. That's always been the thing they wanted to do. They want to cut out retail. It's like a big expense for them for no reason. It's like, they probably see it as like money they have to give away, you know? But they're not going to use that to bring the prices of games down. In fact, games are going to be way more expensive than before, of course, because they can get away with that.
Yeah, and I do think it sucks that, like, in general, physical ownership of items is just something that's fading away. Yeah. Everything's digital or subscription-based.
Yeah, I kind of don't... Like, the reason to care about it is because you know they're going to screw you over. You know that like, your account's going to be invalid one day and all these games that you bought, you know, you don't really own them anymore. So that's the reason to care about it, but... You know, we can imagine a better future where...
But I'm almost thinking, like, you know how for old consoles you can buy old hardware and old games and, like, play a GameCube or an N64. In, like, 20 years, you're not going to be able to... It's almost like the Switch 2 might just be abandonwed or whatever. Like, there's no preservation of it, and maybe the online services will go down and there's no shop anymore. And it's like,
and it's going to be illegal to develop your own shop to download the games because they take you to court if you do that. It is a bit grim, but at the same time, you can't really play you can't really play an N64 game on original hardware because the controllers are all broken. Like, it actually does require upkeep, and these things aren't really permanent. Like, the cartridge isn't permanent. Like you're a Pokemon guy. You know, the problem with all the old Pokemon games is that the battery runs out and you can't save anymore. So those need to be replaced manually. These are sort of electronic devices that require upkeep, and they always have. And that's not going to change. The problem is that the upkeep is being made illegal. You know, we're not allowed to preserve games, and the companies aren't doing it. They don't care. They'd rather just sell everything again.
Yeah, like I had to get a replacement analog stick for my N64 controller because the one I bought was just messed up.
Well, yeah, that was the analog stick that I had to put into my N64 controller manually because the old ones ground themselves to dust. They were badly designed, and that's the thing, is that this hobby, this thing that we care about, it actually is not. It's less permanent than we would like to think. These things that we buy, these cartridges that are you know, they're little sort of computer storage devices, and it's all temporary in a grand temporal sense. But you know, we put in the effort of preserving these things because we care about them, and there's something beautiful about that you know, that you can go and play games that would have been lost to the sands of time if not for people caring enough to preserve them.
Yeah, like I think my brother went to the effort of getting an old Pokemon Crystal cartridge and fixing the battery on it so he could save. Like, at least you can do that. At least it's not like impossible to even get the copy of the game in the first place.
That's true, but on a long enough time scale, like those cartridges probably won't work for other reasons. Like the like data will just be corrupted or something, and then we really will just depend on preservation efforts that people are making now to keep storing and sharing these games around. And while that process keeps being made illegal, it is vital if we want to preserve the sort of history of this stuff that we spend so much time on.
I think like the one positive thing is that at least Switch 1 controllers seem completely backwards compatible. Because that was something that annoyed me, was like, I was one of the bozos who bought the Wii U, and I got all these damn controllers.
Yeah, me too.
Like the damn... I think there was like a special
controller with the sticks and the buttons in the wrong place.
The Wii U Pro controller and the longer Wiimote that has like better motion controls.
Yeah, the Wii Motion Plus.
And then they basically abandoned the Wii U at one point and just moved to the Switch. And I felt like an idiot.
Yeah.
But at least my Switch Pro controller will work on the damn Switch too, and the Joy-Cons will work too.
Yeah, I mean, I used my Switch Pro controller as my primary like PC game controller for years.
It's a good controller.
It is a good controller, but controllers are worse than games in this regard. They break down so quickly, and that was obviously the big problem with the first Switch, is that the backwards compatibility is the sticks move backwards out the back of the bloody controller. They don't work after a few months even. People were complaining about stick drift, and you know, do they have an incentive to fix that problem with the Switch 2? I don't think so. It probably made them money in the end.
You talk about the Switch Joy-Cons? Because those sticks are horrendous.
Stick drift on the Joy-Cons. It just it was like a basic design flaw that you can fix easily, but they didn't, because it was cheaper to make them the way they made them, and it just led to problems down the road that they were basically able to skirt responsibility for. And I hope they don't do it again. You know, they used to be sort of known for their controllers being of a higher quality. Like, you know, we all know that the GameCube controller, those famously all still pretty much work perfectly. But
I still use
the more recent ones don't work so well. It's a shame.
But at least like they could have been greedy there too. At least there's one thing where like my controllers aren't all useless now, because the Switch 2 Pro controller is also $120. I would have been mad if I have to buy another one. Like, that's crazy.
But at the same time, you won't be able to put your Joy-Cons in the Switch 1. Sorry, in the Switch 2, your Switch 1 Joy-Cons, because they're the wrong size and they're not magnetic and everything like that. And I'd be surprised if you could use your Switch 1 Joy-Cons as a Switch 2 controller, but maybe, who knows?
No, you can use them as a controller. I looked that up.
Oh, really?
You can.
Oh, so, well,
at least if I've got friends over, you know, I can hand them the Switch 1 Joy-Cons.
Yeah, that's true, and that's actually pretty cool of them to do that. Like they could have probably made more money by not doing that, but I guess
almost surprised they didn't. Like, because they did exactly that with the Wii U.
I guess the calculus is that they make more money from multiplayer being a real thing that people can do than they do from selling expensive controllers. And the controllers are so expensive nowadays that many people would probably just forego 4-player multiplayer altogether, because it's not worth buying another set of controllers for.
That's actually a good point. Maybe this increases the sales of Mario Party or whatever. Because
it's the cost-benefit analysis, I suppose.
Well, that is about it. That's pretty much everything. But thanks for chatting.
I guess they announced a new Hyrule Warriors game, and I don't really care.
Who cares? Actually, I thought that was a new Zelda at first, because it has the Breath of the Wild art style, but then,
No, to be honest, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, this makes sense. They're doing Age of Calamity, but they're doing it for Tears of the Kingdom this time, and I'm just like, whatever. That doesn't matter. I like the One Piece Warriors games. Those are really fun, but I haven't played I haven't played Hyrule Warriors. I kind of don't care.
I haven't played any of those games.
Sound off in the comments if you want a podcast series about Jimothy reading One Piece, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I actually was considering doing that, because I am doing it.
Yes, do it.
I am reading One Piece very slowly.
Get me back on when you get to Dressrosa.
Well, right now, Frankie's up to some stuff.
Oh, yes. I love Frankie.
Aqua Laguna is about to strike the town, and there's a conspiracy happening, and there's a lot of intrigue.
And you don't know it, but you're in the best part of the story right now.
It is sick right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like started getting that good again in like the past year or so, and it's been a great ride just recently. Yeah, I envy you that you get to read all that stuff for the first time. To be honest, it's such a great story.
I keep taking breaks from One Piece though. I'm sort of getting burnt out on it because I just, yeah, there's just so much of it.
I can't relate because I binged it all in a few months, but yeah, that's understandable. Like it is kind of he has sort of hallmarks in the story arcs that he likes to sort of do over and over. You know, he likes his sort of storytelling tropes, and I like that. It's sort of nice to have the sort of like the familiar touchstones of the arcs. Like you have all the sort of characters that are like roughly equivalent to the Straw Hats that they have to fight. Like there's the marksman character that Usopp has to fight, and there's a sword fighting character that Zoro has to fight, and stuff like that. And there's a guy that disrespects women for Sanji to fight, and you know, love it. Love One Piece.
The arc I'm on right now is probably my favorite so far. What's it called? Water 7.
Yeah, I think that's most people's favorite arc from the whole series. But it's like renowned as one of the best story arcs in any.
It's just awesome. I love
any manga.
The damn superhero-esque. What are they?
Yeah,
boat architects.
Yeah, the Galley La Company. Yeah.
It's one of the most epic ideas ever. They're just
like the sort of the like radical trade union guys that are all like
guy with pointy nose who flies around buildings. What's he doing?
Yeah, and like the fact that it's a story about actually I probably shouldn't say anything. I don't know how far into it you are. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, that's for another time.
Yeah, that's right. But you should sound off in the comments and say that you want him to do this because it would be fun.
I guess what Nintendo titles would you be looking forward to seeing on the Switch 2 besides what's been revealed? Like a new Wario? I know you're a Wario head.
I feel like they're probably just never going to make another Wario Land game, and that's fine because I got Pizza Tower, I got Anton Blast. Those games are great, and those games like pick up where Wario Land sort of left off and like take it to sort of new places that I don't think Nintendo would go. But yeah, that's an interesting question. As always, you'd love to see a new Star Fox game, but I feel like they just they don't feel like they have an idea for it that would be worth doing, which is crazy because you could just make a new Star Fox game with all the technology that's happened over the past 30 years, and it would be worth doing, but they just don't. You know, yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything right now. I'm that's sort of not how I look at games. I guess like if the concept is good, it sort of doesn't matter what series it's from, and like.
That's true.
Yeah, if I like a game, you know, the game's already there. I don't need a new one necessarily.
I want another Luigi's Mansion because I just want another good co-op game because Luigi's Mansion 3 was a lot of fun.
That's true. Yeah. I love all the Luigi's Mansion games. It's a great series. I wonder what that's a good because Next Level Games developed Luigi's Mansion 3, and then they released Mario Strikers. What was it called? Mario Strikers Battle League or something. What was it called?
The one on the Switch?
Yeah, I played it a bit, but I just didn't quite gel with it. I love Next Level Games. They're a great developer. I think they sort of preempted this trend of characters being more expressive and dynamic, and they really got out in front of that by doing some really great character animation, and that really shows in Luigi's Mansion especially. He's so well characterized. Like the animation's fantastic in that series, and they carried that into the new Mario Strikers game. Like the most fun thing about that game is the little cutscenes when they have shots at goal and they do like giant super moves in the sky and stuff like that, and the celebration animations and things like that. So, you know what? A new Punch Out game from Next Level Games because they made Punch Out on the Wii, and that game.
That's such a good game. There should be like a new Punch Out. They haven't done anything Punch Out for ages.
Yeah, not since 2009. Not since the bloody Obama administration. The first one. Long time ago.
What's an obscure Nintendo franchise that they're going to resurrect? Chibi Robo.
The Mysterious Murasame Castle. That one.
Oh, yeah. What's Rob game? And Andros
Gyromite.
Returns? Gyromite? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyromite
and
next gen
what was the other one? I think it was called Stack Up, the other Rob game. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, let's wrap it up then. Thank you, Limbus, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Jamesathy.
Thank you all for listening. And thank you, Nintendo, for overcharging for funny Donkey Kong game.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stealing from me.
Goodbye.